I wanted to share with you today a little bit about my story of how holistic health really became a part of my life and a really big part of the transition or transformation, I guess, that I was able to make for myself. In 2005, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I was 22 years old, and it was a really unexpected diagnosis, as most diagnoses are. And I went through a rough period in my life. And all I knew from my history from being a kid was that if there was something wrong with you, you went to the doctor and they were the ones that were going to help you and support you. And my experience with an MS diagnosis at a young age and going to the doctor was that right away it was recommended that I was put on medication, which involved injecting myself every day, essentially for the rest of my life. At the time, I resisted that. I wasn't really all that excited about that. But over time, I started to have more and more symptoms, and my health started to decline. So eventually, I did decide to go the medical route and did start taking the daily injections. But on that medication, I started having side effects. Every medication is going to have a side effect. And there are going to be times where you kind of can weigh the pros and the cons. And if the medication is giving you a benefit that's enough to kind of ignore and dismiss the cons or the side effects that you're dealing with, okay, that's fine. Everyone has to do what's best for them. But for me, the side effects were extreme. It started to make my quality of life go down and down and down, and I had to take all kinds of other medication on top of the medication I was already taking just to deal with side effect after side effect after side effect. And I got to a point in my life where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to live my life if this is how life's going to be because the medication made me feel terrible. And I saw a video from Dr. Terry Walls in 2011, I believe, where she talked about how she'd used nutrition to help herself to reverse a lot of the MS symptoms that she was dealing with. And to me, this was mind blowing. I had never heard of anything holistic at that point. I'd never heard that food could be used to help yourself get better, to help yourself improve your quality of life when you were dealing with health challenges. I just thought medicine was the way to go. But after seeing this video and knowing how I was feeling, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I didn't jump in right away, but after a couple days and maybe a week, I thought, what have I got to lose? And that's the thing with nutrition and with holistic health in general is that if you look at things, there's very rarely side effects from trying something that's a whole food natural supplement or a nutrition based approach or a movement based approach or something that's not going to have a side effect that potentially could really help you. So I decided to commit myself to 30 days. I said, you know what? I'll try it. I'll change my food for 30 days. It was an extreme change for me. I went from being the girl who ate, a big bowl of multigrain Cheerios with almond milk for dinner pretty much every night during the week because we'd go and play hockey afterwards and really not eating all that well, eating lots of processed foods, lots of packaged foods. I was, I don't want to say lazy, but maybe. I didn't cook really all that much. And so having to make a change to cooking all of my own meals, eating completely unprocessed, no legumes, no grains, no gluten, no dairy, no sugar, it was a really big change for me. But maybe halfway through my 30-day experiment, I realized that I could never go back. I started to feel better. And when you start to feel better, you start to realize, okay, I'm on to something. And that was the start of my journey with holistic health. So I spent years using nutrition, which helped me improve a bunch of what I was dealing with the MS. A bunch of my symptoms got better. Then I was able to start adding in some movement and some exercise and some other regular routine activities that were beneficial to me. Over time, I found a holistic nutritionist and I started working with them to figure out what supplements could possibly benefit me, and more symptoms started to go away as well. And then from there, I went back to school for holistic nutrition because I realized if I'm feeling this much better just from the changes that I've made, I need to help other people as well. So that's how I started my journey in helping others with holistic health. But ultimately, my journey started more than 10 years ago with my own experience. So I went back to school for holistic nutrition. I've helped people with the foods that support their bodies. And then most recently, especially through the world events of 2020, I discovered that there needed to be a way to help people remotely because you're not always able to go to an appointment. You're not always able to meet with a practitioner. So I wanted to find a way that I could help more people and regardless of distance. We now have clients mostly in North America, but ultimately all over the world that we help using quantum nutrition testing. We're able to figure out what the cause is of what you're dealing with. And from the cause, then we're able to find out what your body needs to get back into balance. All the years that I was going to my doctor with the MS symptoms, and I'd have one medication and then the next and the next and the next, we never looked at what was the cause. Why are you dealing with the symptoms that you're dealing with? We were always just looking at what can we give you? What can I take to help the symptoms be not so bad? Not even go away completely, but not so bad so that I could live my life. So, my experience has been going through a lot of trial and error and a lot of figuring things out on my own and finding people that were willing to help me dig deeper and figure out what I actually needed. And that's what got me interested in quantum nutrition testing. I did a co-op in school with a professor who is amazing, who does muscle testing, which is the in-person version. But quantum nutrition testing is just opens the door for so many more people because I can test you no matter where you live. And if you've been dealing with symptoms and you've been seeing doctors and you're not getting the answers that you're looking for, or for a lot of clients, they come to us and they say, you're the first person I feel like has actually listened to me. So if this is you, if this is something that you've experienced, if you're dealing with symptoms that you're looking for help resolving, we can help you. You can send me a message. I'll put my link in the chat so that, or in the comments, I'll put it here. So you can just, I think I can do this here. So yeah, you can just send me a message. I'll do it on Facebook. If you have any questions or reach out anytime, we'd be more than happy to help you because not being able to find the cause is going to make it much harder for you to ever get the results that you're looking for if it's health or any goal that you're after. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, reach out anytime. And otherwise, I will talk to you again soon.